What's going on, y'all? We're getting back into Fanduel Fantasy Breakdown Show. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Turn those post notifications on. We're about to get on into it. Week 1, NFL Fanduel Fantasy. Got a $4 million top prize, $4 entry. We playing the big one. Let's see how we can be different. Let's get that cash. Alright, we're going to start over on the Fanduel Slate talking about this contest. The 3 million NFL Sunday Million, 1 million to first. We're going to break down the prizes. First place, 1 million. Second place, 100,000. Third place, 50,000. Fourth place, 25,000. Tiers on down. Top 10, 10th place, 9th and 10th, 3,000. After 16th on, you're not looking at a whole lot of money. $1,000. That's good off of $4 though. Wouldn't complain a bit if we got that. In total entrants, 892,857 by the time this thing is full. Right now it's 12% full. It's going to start on Sunday the 11th. Of course, we got that Thursday game. It's not included in this contest. But go over the entries. We got the summary of the games we'll be going over. Rules and scoring, we'll go over that real quick. Quarterback, RB, wide receiver, tight end, and flex. So you got 2-point conversion would be 2 points. 2-point conversion pass or score 2. 50 plus yards 5. 0 to 19 yards you get 3. 20 to 29 yards 3. 30 to 39 yards 3. 40 to 49 is 4 points. Fumbles lost -2. Own fumbles recovered to TD. So defense return a TD. Or actually they say a runner is running the ball and fumbles, recovers his own ball and gets a TD is 6 points. Kickoff return to TD. So all your TDs going to be 6 points. Except for your passing TDs will be 4. Passing yards 0.04. Receptions 0.5. Receiving TDs also be 6. Punt return TDs 6. Rushing TDs 6. Receiving yards 0.1. Rushing yards 0.1. Extra point conversion is going to be 1. And over on the defense, blocked punt or kick would be 2 points for the defense. Block kick, return TD. So if you block a kick and they run it back for a TD, be 6 points. Fumble, return TD, same thing, 6 points. 0 points allowed, you get a bonus of 10. 1 to 6 points allowed, 7. You get 14 to 20 points allowed, 1. 28 to 34 points allowed, -1. 35 plus points allowed, -4. 7 to 13 points allowed would be 4. Return TDs 6 points. Safeties are 2. Extra point return 2. Fumbles recovery 2. Interceptions 2. And sacks are 1. And we can go over to the summary of the games. We're going to break this down real quick. We got the first game kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, New Orleans and Atlanta. You got a couple of games kicking off at that time. Looks like 9 games will kick off during that time. New Orleans and Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit. You got the Jaguars and Washington, Indiana and Houston. You got Cleveland and Carolina. You got Baltimore and the Jets. You also got New England and Miami, San Francisco, Chicago, and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. After that in the afternoon, you got Kansas City and Arizona, and also the Chargers and Raiders, Green Bay and the Vikings, and Tennessee and the Giants all kicking off at 4:25 Eastern Time. So that's just kind of breaking down what this what this Fanduel $1,000,000 Sunday is on week 1. Get all right into it. Can go on over. And we're going to look on Sharp right here real quick. So, real quick. I like using the Sharp app right here. We're just going to kind of go over the betting numbers and stuff. What we're looking for as far as fantasy football is what I look for is the total points. So just glancing by this, you got a very high scoring game here, Buffalo and the Rams. The spread isn't terrible. So I really like this game. Now you're going on to Cleveland and Carolina. You only got a 41.5 point total. I don't really care for that. Also Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. They're getting up there a little more. What I look for right here, we got high point totals. So you got the Kansas City and Arizona game there. That would be a game I would like to have some exposure to as far as fantasy. You also got the Chargers and Rams, or not Rams, Chargers and Raiders here. 52 point total. And you also got Tampa Bay and Dallas. So those would probably be the 4 key games I would like to target. But I'd also like to have a little exposure over here to Philadelphia and Detroit, preferably on the Philly side. And probably games that I won't be playing or have very limited exposure to would be Chicago and San Francisco. If I got exposure in this game, I'm going to lean to San Francisco side. Probably a receiver. Chicago's not that great. They've picked up some people, but I still don't think their defense is going to be that good. Also, same on the New Orleans and Atlanta side. What I like over here is the New Orleans side. Receiver. Atlanta, I don't think their defense is where it needs to be yet. So, look at Cleveland and Carolina. This game could really get out of hand real quick, and I think it's going to be a lower point total than what they got there. They got 41.5, but I don't even think it's going to be that high. You got some questions at quarterback there. You got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Might would have a little exposure on both sides of the ball right here. Philly and Detroit. Definitely would be leaning toward the Philly side on that as far as fantasy. Hurts. Wouldn't mind having a little Jalen Hurts in this one. Maybe throw him up there with A.J. Brown, but you got to get different in these tournaments, so I'd probably be looking at like Smith or somebody, putting him in there, or maybe the tight end. Run over to Indiana and Houston. I look for Indiana to just dominate this run game in this game. So definitely got Taylor, but I wouldn't be sleeping on Hines either. I mean, you could get a little different here and put Taylor and Hines as 2 of your running backs and have you another strong matchup running back at the flex. And I think that would be a little bit different than most people are going to do. A lot of people talking about Dameon Pierce. I do think he's gonna shine, but I don't think it's gonna be in this game. I think they're gonna control the run here, and if they get up, Indiana gets up, Houston's gonna have to pass. So if I went back on this game for, say, if I got Taylor and Hines, and I wanted somebody from the other side of the ball, I'd probably looking at Cooks or Nico Collins wouldn't be a bad option if they're going to have to be throwing and be down. That's the only way I would pick somebody from Houston right there. It'd be a receiver, and hoping that they're down and trying to get back in it. So, New England, Miami. You got Miami there. 46.5 total here. I see Hill getting some receptions, maybe a touchdown. I don't think his value is going to pay off, like as far as his salary goes on Fanduel. He's a little lower than a lot of people, but I think I don't think he's going to have a 2-touchdown day, maybe a 1. I think you're going to have a lot of 2-touchdown candidates over in these other games. On the New England side, if New England's able to get up to a lead here in this game, I would look at it rolling out Ramondre Stevenson as a lower owned option. Don't know what Harris is really going to be yet. I still think he's going to be the starting running back, but if they're up to a lead, I think Stevenson will make a good option play here. And the opposite way, if somebody, say Miami gets up to a 2-touchdown, 3-touchdown lead, can run out with Chase Edmonds or Mozart if she's going to be I'm thinking Mozart's going to be the backup running back there, so you could go that way too. But I would still like, whichever way you think this game's going to go, I'd get one of them receivers on the opposite side of the ball, like Devontae Parker on New England. On Miami side, you could get Waddle if he plays. If not, I'd probably stick with Hill. Pay up a little for Hill. So that next game right there, you got the Baltimore Ravens and New York Jets. All right. But anyway, 44.5 total on the score. I'm looking for that Bateman and Lamar Jackson connection here. Jets defense haven't been great at all, so I know they picked up some help in the offseason through draft and all that, but I still don't think they're where they need to be, and I think this is Bateman's time to come out and shine, so he's going to have all the targets in the world. Jackson a good runner, so I wouldn't mind stacking this on the Baltimore Ravens side, but if you do that, that's probably going to be something a lot of people are doing, so you're going to have to get a little different somewhere else. I actually wouldn't mind running back this with the receiver from the Jets side, Berrios, Corey Davis. Either one of those would be good options if they're going to have to be throwing from behind. Jacksonville, Jaguars, and Washington. So, this game's a 43.5. I don't mind getting exposure to Kirk or Zay Jones. I don't mind getting exposure to McLaurin or even the rookie, Jahan Dotson. Can go over to New York and Tennessee. Of course, I like Henry. Tennessee's going to be running the ball. Or you could get a little different here if Tannehill can get over to the tight end. If he can get over there to the tight end and get things going. That looks for a good connection there. I don't know why I'm having trouble remembering that kid's name. Let's see, Hooper. Yeah, Austin Hooper. If he can get, Hooper's been looking well in camp, so I would say Hooper gets him a touchdown in this game. Then they run it out with Henry. Henry gets him a touchdown. Hooper comes in, gets him a touchdown. That's all Henry and running game. So, going to the flip side of this, Kadarius Toney would be a good option if you thinking Tennessee gets up in the lead and New York's going to have to throw. Now, I wouldn't doubt Saquon Barkley now. He's been looking good on the off season. Don't really know how this game's gonna turn out, but for the most part, I'm looking like Tennessee's gonna probably win that one. Now going on to Kansas City and Arizona. We'll definitely have exposure to this. You got a 53.5 total. And Kansas City, we don't really know what they're going to do, but Mahomes and Kelsey stack is going to be there. I think it's that other receiver. Like, do you put Sky Moore? Do you put MVS? Do you put Juju in there? I think it's going to be one of those options if you're going to stack KC. Which one to me would be the best option in a tournament format like this, in the big, trying to take down the big, $1 million? You're looking probably for MVS to catch a couple long balls at a little lower ownership. Sky Moore also could have that opportunity, but I would lean to MVS here. Bearing any setbacks that he don't play. Could throw Juju in there, but if you got Kelsey, Juju, and Mahomes, I'd do a run back with Arizona here and probably throw in Rondale Moore to be a little different. It's looking like Arizona's going to be down first. But I like Arizona this year. I like Kyler Murray. I think he's going to have a great year. So you could stack it on the other side and say you put Murray and Rondale Moore. Could throw Zach Ertz in there also. So each of these games with over 50 total points, I'm going to be stacking each team. So I'll do a lineup with the Arizona stack. I'll do a lineup with the KC stack. Same over here with the Raiders and Chargers. I'll do the same on that. Chargers stack and a Raiders stack. On this game, I do like the Raiders. Well, I'm sorry. I like the Chargers more on this game. But, it's going to be interesting to see what Carr and Adams can do. I definitely will have that stack, but where I'd have to get different right there is probably run Jacobs or probably Hunter Renfrow would be my other option if I'm stacking that game. Waller's still kind of banged up a little. We don't even know if he's going to be playing that game. On the opposite side, the Chargers, you got Herbert. And you could do Eckler. Could do a Herbert, Eckler, and Allen or Williams. I'd lean to Williams, Mike Williams stack. Then you can also throw the tight end on that one also. Green Bay, Minnesota, 48 total, so I'm going to have exposure to here. Of course, you got the Cousins and Jefferson stack. And you could put Smith in there. Looks like he's going to be able to play. Opposite side, you got Rodgers. Of course, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. And my other option on the stack on Green Bay side would probably be Romeo Doubs. I think he's going to do very well this year. Next game, Tampa Bay and Dallas. Now on that game, that's the later games right there. Let me go back over here. I believe that game is on this slate here. Oh, that one ain't on this, so Chargers, Green Bay, Tennessee. So these games on here, we can cover those in the prime time game. But yeah, these are games that I'm gonna want to have on this tournament here. I'm gonna want to have exposure to this game and this one. Not so much Tennessee and New York. We'll have a little exposure to Green Bay and the Vikings. Probably not a whole lot of exposure here. Gonna have some exposure to Philly and Detroit, and Buffalo and the Rams. These three games here, I'm probably gonna have very little exposure to. If I do, I'm gonna lean to New Orleans on this game. On this one, I'll lean to San Francisco. This one, I'm probably gonna be fading altogether. If I have exposure there, I'll probably do McCaffrey. Just because I don't think Cleveland will get up by touchdowns where they're having to throw the ball. I think if anybody's going to have to throw the ball in this game, it's going to be Cleveland. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I'd probably lean towards Cincinnati if I needed to pick somebody off of this. And that's really what it amounts down to. So now we'll flip over here into Fanduel. We'll go on and enter a lineup. Gonna build a lineup with y'all guys real quick. So at quarterback, how are we gonna want to get different in this? So do we want to just go on and take the top option, get Allen in there at quarterback? Maybe stack him somewhere. It's going to be the, let's see here. It's going to be the second highest point total on the evening. We're going to do a Mahomes stack over here. For the sake of fantasy, saving money, I think we might need to go I think we're going to put Mahomes in there for right now. So now when we're doing this, we're going for a Kansas City stack. So we're looking for a good receiver. There's Juju. MVS and Hardman. MVS was cleared from a concussion protocol there. He's clear, good to go for week 1. Now I kind of look back at these past plays, but this is last year, and he's on a different team now. He's got a high-powered quarterback. You can look at the pass rank 9th. You got rush rank 20th, defensive rank 13th. And the reason I would choose this game over grabbing, let's just see what would happen here if we put I don't know where he went. Oh, okay, I see what I was doing. Buffalo and the Rams are on Thursday. We'll cover that game in another show. So, which actually that helps me for the $1 million lineup here. So I'm thinking I got about 4 to 5 good options for quarterback here. The cheapest probably being Aaron Rodgers or Cousins. I do like Cousins here. The point total ain't much lower than these other games. I think we're going to change this up. I'm going to go with Cousins on this because we're going to save money. I mean, I was going to go Mahomes, Herbert, Murray I wouldn't be mind with, Hurts for his running upside. Rodgers going to be throwing. But I'm going to go with Cousins here. Doing that, I want to stack him with Justin Jefferson. So you got a stack going already. Now where you got to get different, you want to say, well, because Justin Jefferson is going to be really high on. Cousins, maybe not so much. You can get a little away from him. And we could change that again. Let's, I can find Minnesota. There it is. Alright. So you got Osborne, you got Thielen, Ranger, who was just at it. Osborne. He didn't have too bad of games back here. Last time they played Green Bay, January 2nd, he had 12.5 fantasy points. The game before that against the Rams, he had 15.3. Thielen's getting on up there. Thielen's going to be higher owned than Osborne. I mean, you're trying to win a tournament here. Your option would be Osborne. Or you could go Irv Smith. Let's see if he's going to be able to play. Says he's going to be ready and track for the start of the season. So it's either Irv Smith or Osborne. You could do Thielen, but I think his I think he's up there a little high. You could also do Dalvin Cook, but Cook's gonna be high owned. You could get the backup running back, Madison, but if Cook's healthy, he probably ain't gonna get enough playing time to be relevant. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll go on and get Irv Smith. If he turns out he ain't gonna play, I'm gonna flip that back over to Osborne the day of the game if Smith don't play. So I'm liking this start here. We got Cousins, we got Jefferson, and Smith Jr. So we filled up pretty good decent on this later game here. One of those last games. So now what I like to do is probably hit something on this front side. Try to get a good start. Of course, we're not liking any three of these games. And what I'm probably going to lean to is this Philly-Detroit game here. And then you've got, of course, Taylor you could throw in there. But we're trying to be different on these games. So let's look at running back. No, Eckler. A lot of people liking DeAndre Swift. We could pull him up and see. You got your rush rank, pass rank, defense rank. Detroit Lions. And they're up against Philadelphia. Could do a run back with Jones, but Jones is going to be high. And if you're... The problem with putting Jones in this lineup is you're looking like a high pass scoring attack. And if they get up early, Aaron Jones is still going to be used in the passing game also. So, but probably wouldn't want to use Jones in that situation. Could throw Cook in there and have a 4-player stack. Because if they're up, they're going to give Cook the ball and let him run. But I think we got better options here, and I think it's Eckler. Rush rank 12th against the Raiders. He's put up some good numbers the last 4, and a huge game against the Raiders January 9th for 26 points. So I like Eckler here. So we're going to add Eckler in there. We still got 6,000 per player. We're going on over. So we got exposure now to this game. Oh no, I'm sorry. This game here on the backside still. Now where I'm leaning on like somebody to just really go down, I'm kind of leaning toward throwing a defense in here real quick and get rid of my defense, but I could change that pretty easy. I like the Colts defense against Houston. I think they're going to be a little too high owned. Also, of course, like Baltimore against the Jets, but also the problem with high ownage on that game also. Could do Tennessee here. Could do KC. You don't want to get around these spread totals most of the time anyways. Or I don't anyways. Could do the Bengals here. So what I'm looking for as far as defense is like, do they got some new help that maybe somebody ain't seeing yet? San Francisco, I like them a lot, but they're higher priced. Who I'm leaning toward the most is probably New Orleans. I mean, you got an offense that's going to be fairly efficient getting the ball getting the ball out fast. Winston. So I'd probably go New Orleans for right now. I'm going to go on and get that out of the way. No defense ain't real big to a lot of people. You're still paying $4,900, but that's going to eat into people on the 49ers, the Ravens. I wouldn't mind the Titans. Bengals ain't a bad option. For right now, we're going to put the Saints in there. And that could change here in a little bit when we get to building the rest of this lineup. So we already got our tight end. We got one receiver. We got a running back there. We got our quarterback. And I'm liking this build so far. So let's look at another receiver. And let's see here. And honestly, wouldn't be bad to get Jamar Chase up here. But who I would like probably better in this game would be Tyler Boyd. Or, let's see who all we got here. Boyd. Higgins is looking like he could be out. Let me see what's going on here. Says he should be ready for week 1. He's currently out of practice. He's put up decent fantasy numbers the last 3 games he played. 13, 13, 24. Salary isn't bad. You can go down to Tyler Boyd there. Now, where I would lean to Tyler Boyd here, I don't think I'm going to go there this time, but if Higgins is out at Boyd's price, 5,700, great option. But we may have to pay up for Chase here. I think Boyd, if he's playing though, that's the go-to right here. Or not Boyd, Higgins, I mean. If Higgins is playing, that's probably the go-to. You're saving $1,200 from him to Chase, and Higgins can get you there, so. But we're going to look and see what other games we can attack on this for a receiver. Now, I see this game right here. If they get out early, Michael Pittman maybe gets him a touchdown. Taylor gets him a touchdown. They're going to run the ball. Hines and Taylor are going to run this ball. So, you can play Bateman here and hit that noon game. Get you some middle work. I think a lot of people are going to be playing Bateman too. That's the problem. You got to find that sleeper guy. And it could be in one of these games down here. But who I do like here on Jacksonville is Zay Jones for a sleeper option. Which I may try to get him down there. Right now, I think I'm just going to plug Higgins in there. We're going to put Higgins in there for right now. Let's see how his shoulder holds up. If I'm not liking the information coming out, or if he's questionable in a few days, maybe like a couple days before the game, we're going to definitely change that out. Probably to Chase. I think that volume goes to Chase rather than Tyler Boyd. I can go over and look at the Jaguars. He's got Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk will be the number 1 option. Pass ranker looking real good here against the Commanders. I don't really like this game, but sometimes to be different you gotta go do different stuff. Zay Jones has not put up bad numbers really. Looked good in the preseason. I just don't know if I'm liking that game enough to use one of these receivers. Marvin Jones hadn't looked bad. All 3 of these receivers hadn't looked that bad in the preseason. The lowest ownership I think would go to Zay Jones. The highest to Kirk, and Marvin would be right in the middle of that. Let's see what else we got to work with though. Man, this is rough. I'll go back to running back for a minute and look at them Colts. Naheem Hines. I think we can do this. Put Taylor. And then in the flex, put Hines. See what that leaves me with right there. Well, can't do much with 2,600. I think we can leave Hines in there. And that still gives us 6,400. Hines get that work on the blowout. So, rest Taylor a little bit. Hines get some passing work also from the new quarterback. I like it. So, let's see what we can do around 6,400 as far as these running backs. Now, what I'm going to go back to is this game, Philadelphia. Let's see what running back we can get there. Miles Sanders, hamstring, back at practice on Thursday. Now, call me crazy, but and y'all can call me crazy in the comments below. Don't bother me none. I won't lose no sleep over it. But anyway, Miles Sanders coming from a hamstring injury. Even if he plays, I don't think he's gonna, be out there a whole lot. Who I do feel could be the beneficiary of that would be Kenneth Gainwell. Now they've also added Trey Sermon there. Claimed him off waivers. Kenneth Gainwell. And even if Gainwell isn't the beneficiary, I also don't mind Boston Scott. Being that running back. Of course, Boston Scott's going to be a lot lower on than Gainwell. But right now, we're going to put Gainwell in there. Could put Boston Scott in here and stack another high dollar receiver. And we can do that, see how it looks. Don't really like having two running backs from the same team, so we're not going to do that. Now, what I like to do in the flex to get different, sometimes I'll like to throw in another tight end, but right here I think I'm going to do running back. So we've got nice exposure. We got the defense of the first game here. New Orleans and Atlanta. Then we come on, we skip these games. We got Higgins right here if he plays for the Bengals. Going to the next game, we got Gainwell. So maybe Philly can get up and then run the ball. Not a big spread there, but the point total's high enough. I think Gainwell can get him a touchdown or two and be okay, even if it's a short run-in yard. The only reason I would add Scott in there is if I feel like Gainwell and Scott can both get a touchdown, and at their lower price and lower ownership be the difference I need to cash fairly high on one of these tournaments. But see, we got the exposure to Hines. Well, took Hines out of there. I think we could put Hines back in there. Naheem Hines, looking for a blowout. He gets some run. I don't necessarily hate it, and we got the money for it. So let's look at that real quick. 4,500. It's still going to leave us with 7,500 for a receiver. And with this lineup, I mean, I don't mind it at all. You're going to get a lower ownership on Gainwell, probably on Cousins. Irv Smith definitely going to be a lower ownership. Hines going to be lower ownership. Saints probably going to be a little high. Higgins, depends on that injury right there. A lot of people are going to be going to Chase. And it leaves me enough salary here that if I need to move that to Chase, I can pretty easily. So at 7,500, you got options here. Michael Pittman. If we're looking for that blowout, though, I'm going to stay off of him. You got the high-powered LAC. Could do a Keenan Allen there. Could hit that Philly game again. Get Brown. Brown can put up the numbers. The lines are not good against pass ranks or anything, so if somebody puts up numbers in the receiving game, it's AJ Brown. So I may go with AJ Brown there, leave $400 on the table because I know what I'm getting. But in the case I need to flip and move Higgins off and put Chase in there, then I'd have to probably get somebody more like Williams or Cook. Which, throwing Mike Williams in here don't look bad because you're leaving $900 on the table. If I need to change him, I'd still probably have to move something around. And you got to keep an eye. Williams just signed that 3-year contract, and it was a big deal, you know. $40 million guarantee, $60 million contract for 3 years. I think he's going to be the one to overtake. He's going to overtake. I already know it. Keenan Allen is going to be overtaken by Mike Williams, and it could start as soon as this first game. The only problem here, the pass rank ain't great. The defensive rank ain't great, so... You could do that with AJ Brown, and you got all these in the green. So in other words, Detroit sucks against all this. So I'm gonna leave Brown in there for right now, $400. I may later on change it to Mike Williams to leave a little more salary on the table. I'm liking this lineup. We're going to enter it in. So we got that entered in there. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure y'all checking out all these other videos. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, turn those post notices on. Let's get into it again. We out, y'all.